Hello everybody. This is going to be the first of hopefully a good series of videos that I plan on doing. I'm Blueberry23. I run a server called Berrycraft, where everything is based around fruit, hence my name. And I have a showcase to do tonight for my 8-bit calculator. Mostly self-taught in Redstone. I went to school for machine repair, and I got a little bit of binary, and most of what I do is based around the maybe 2 or 3 weeks that we maybe spent on it. So yeah, I've been working on this for a while now. It took probably about 2 or 3 weeks all told to figure it out. Now I can only add and multiply at the moment. Doing dividing and subtraction processors are much difficult because you're trying to divide or pick apart a binary number as opposed to combining numbers. So down here you have the addition processor right here, which is fairly simple. If you know anything about binary, all it is basically a transistor. So 2 inputs will equal a 0 and a 1 at the next one, and 3 inputs will be a 1 here and a 1 there, and 1 input would just be a 1 here because there's nothing being added to it. And I can, in later videos, I can explain as to what that all means. This is just showing how it works. Well, showing that it does work, and then I can show the videos on how it works later. And this is the multiplication processor, where if you think about multiplication as addition, so 5 times 3 would be 5 plus 5 plus 5. There's ways that you can do this. So you have a whole bunch of addition processors kind of in series, and they add different tiers, and it'll make sense in the later video. And everything that is added here or multiplied then comes out as a single 8-bit number, and then it goes through the binary decoder, which takes every possible combination of those 8, which is 256 if you include 0, but because this does not show 0, it would be 255, because 256 would be the 9th bit, and this is only 8-bit. So you can only have all of those lit, because if you had one more, then it would all ladder down to the 9th bit, and that would not be possible with this. So this is the digital encoder. I'm not sure if that's really the proper name for it. It's just what I've been calling it because that's basically what it does, where it takes a single decoded output and turns it into a series of 45 different outputs here, where my screens here are 3 by 5 pixels, so with 3 numbers and 15 pixels each, then it comes to 45 outputs. So as you can see, they're color coded at the bottom, where this would be the first 3 pixels of the top, and then the next row, and the next row, and that's done 3 times, so you can tell that red through blue would be the first number, and then second number, third number, etc. So through here is whenever you get the single output, it comes out of the decoder down here, and it turns off a single one of these, which then turns on the torches under these lines, and everything would be parallel, and it comes down here. So whichever torches are on would then light up the appropriate pixels for making that number. And I can show you. So the input is in binary, just because that's the simplest way that I could do it. I'm working on a 16-bit calculator that's over off there. You can kind of see it, where it'll just be a 10-digit input. So we'll just do a simple adding. So we'll do 20. Now, if you're not familiar with binary, every light on would be considered as a 1. So before I press anything, it's all 0, 0, 0. All 8 zeros all the way down the board. So the ones that you click are they become the ones, and each one has a represented value, which in this case would be 4 and 16. So that'd be 20, and we'll do 28. We'll add that to, say, 32. So 28 and 32, that should put you at 60. Now, I have not tested every single output on this, but I have not found an error in a long time. So, with that, and there you go. Which is fairly quick as far as this goes, but adding only has to go through one part of the processor, which is right down here. Whereas when you multiply, it has to do this step 3 times. So you have to go through there, and then through there, and then it has to make it all the way down here. So it's much more of a trek. So that's how that works there. And I'll do 1 division, or multiplication, excuse me. So we'll come to this, let's see, we'll do 16 times, say, 3. Should come out to 48. There we go. So yeah, that's basically all it does for now. There isn't a whole lot that I can do with this except for add multiple processors to it. But as far as the way this is set up, it was a struggle getting the multiplication processor in here, because I had to take the same inputs over here and put a bunch of interlocks for when it was deciding whether or not to add or multiply. And then you have to get both numbers in 2 different lines here. So when you put in the first number, it's represented here, and the second number will be represented there, or vice versa, how this is set up. And then both those numbers are then put into here, and they decide as to where they go. But I wasn't entirely satisfied with this, and I decided that I wanted a bigger one. So this monstrosity is being built over here. This is designed to be significantly faster, which is why it's so much bigger. And it's, instead of being an 8-bit, it's a 16-bit. Now, that doesn't just double the number, so it wouldn't be, going from 255 to, not feeling like mental mathing right now. It'll be 32,768 times 2 minus 1, because the extra minus 1 keeps it from being a 17-bit. Because technically you could have up to 1 minus everything added here, which equals this, which I can explain how that works in the sense of binary in a later video. But this whole thing here, which looks confusing as anything, is actually what that entire digital converter does. Where this will take a single decoded 16-bit output, which would come out to here, and it turns it into a 20-bit. So each one of these would be a number, so that'd be first digit, second digit, or fifth, fourth, third, second, and first. And there's a small binary decoder down there, which only goes up to 10, and use 4-bit, because that would go up to the digits, because each digit or each place value would only have a digit of 0 through 9, which can be shown in a 4-bit, because 5th bit would be, was that 16? So it'd be 1, 2, 4, 8, and 8 and 2 would be the highest, which 8, 10 represents a 0 in my model here, and being my design, as long as it works, as long as it makes sense, doesn't necessarily have to make sense to somebody else, in that sense. So basically all this does, this takes the same pixelized numbers, same resolution, 3x5, but I have 5 of them instead. So instead of having just 45 outputs, there's, what's that, 120, something like that, I forget what it is. Or basically there's over 100 separate inputs here. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that design because it would be much too wide. And I don't think I'd actually be able to render all of it and get all the processors in the same area to make it actually work. So that's what my plans are. I haven't worked on this in a little while just because I haven't had the drive to do it. Because it is a lot of work. This is only about 2 or 3 days when I really just pumped through it. But yeah, as you can see, I have a lot to look forward to, especially if I'm gonna be setting up over 65,000 different numbers, which I know is not gonna be possible, but I'm gonna get as many as I can. Now, I'm also looking for the pattern and the binary. I'm trying to do all this without looking up other videos on how to do it. So everything here is my design. Now, I recognize that there's probably similar things that have been done, because sometimes there's only one way to do things. So if you do see this design or design similar to it elsewhere, I recognize that, you know, I don't have like a patent on any of this kind of stuff. It's all just, you know, me messing around. So in the sense that it's my design, it's possibly me recreating the wheel by, you know, what someone else did already. But it's, even if I didn't come up with it first, I still came up with it. Is kind of what I'm getting at. So, yep, that's basically what I do. If you are interested in more tutorial videos or want to possibly play on my server, I run as I said before in the beginning of the video, I run a mostly a survival kind of community-oriented server called Berrycraft. Then I can post all that stuff in the description below. So yeah, you can look forward to more videos like this. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.